Well, welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave, waking up for a nice and a little bit of a later Wednesday morning over here from Helsinki, Finland. As always, want to be wishing you very well on this nice little hump day, and Bitcoin playing in all hours of the day as well. My God, very powerful move as we looked at from yesterday. All initiations been happening right now, and I've been spending my whole morning actually listening to Frank Sinatra's songs, listening to I Love You Baby, and just replacing it with Bitcoin. Holy shit, Bitcoin, powerful Bitcoin, and we got plenty to talk about today. So without further ado, I do want to wish you well. Do want to wish you the best, the happiest of the happiest, and let's initiate that good old teleportation. I'll see you in the live scene. And wait, we have proof of Sinatra. My bad, wrong window. Let's get on over here to our actual Bitcoin trading window, and we do see that yesterday the big news was the breakage of the white torn and simple on the 2-day, or sorry, not 2-day, but 2-hour dodo time frame right here. This is what we were looking at yesterday, and this is what I really wanted to focus on during yesterday's video. So I hope that this one came loud and clear, because as soon as Bitcoin broke back above this white 200 simple right here, that was my signal for, and again, this is not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but that was my signal for once again getting long and putting risk back onto the upside. As historically speaking, each and every time that Bitcoin has broken down, not historically, but for this past 6-month rally, each and every time that Bitcoin's broken below the 2-hour white 200 simple right here, we have gotten accumulated upon the blue 377 exponential moving average, and each and every time that's actually been a damn good buy. And the second that Bitcoin breaks back above that white 200 simple once again, it's, well, as you can see, pretty damn good reaction. So going all the way back on over here to early February, middle of February, we do see, our first breakdown routed over here, but gets reaccumulated. Same thing routed over here, very, very brief, and then big markup. Then same thing routed over here on the 5,000 saga. Bitcoin getting reaccumulated upon the blue 377, and then glory times once again. Same thing during 8,000 routed over here. Ooh, ground beef coming up right now. Sorry about that. And then we have another example right here. I did think that Bitcoin was probably going to spend some more time oscillating between the blue 377 exponential moving average and the white 200 simple, but more importantly, this is why my opinion is irrelevant. It does not matter. As soon as Bitcoin broke above the white 200 simple and retested it, that was my signal for putting on some deltas to the long side. And just for full transparency, proof of trade, I do want to show this right on over here. I did actually put on one of the biggest positions I've ever had on my streamer account, running about 25 and a half Bitcoin long, about 300,000 contracts, with an average price on these December futures, which is where I put the risk on at about 11,000 even. But understand that the December futures are trading at about a $500 premium, or actually $600 premium right now. So you can see they're trading a little bit above 12,000. I have an average price of about 11,000, a little bit above 11,000, so quite happy with that, and just letting this one roll through. So I hope that this past week has been a great, great insight into just, in my opinion, the better way to be handling these sorts of dippy behaviors. I really don't like getting short. This is why I don't like being short in an overall uptrend, and why same thing for a downtrend. Right? I don't want to be overall long in a downtrend. I'd rather do it with options. So made money on the options side to the downside, but that also gave us options sorry, no pun intended, but options with going back to the upside, because then I could just buy spot against it, actually get to pull in the difference, so still making money on the options, and now gonna have a nice position started right around there. So I do like this overall, and this does offer up a nice, just a nice, very obvious way of trading this. As long as we're above this $11,000, let's make it $11,100 pivot. I would say that the direction is, or sorry, not the direction, but we have more upside to go. Anyways, let me put back on all of the major moving averages. Let's go over the higher time frames, just because, well, why not? Why not, baby? And we do see daily right on over here actually regaining the yellow 21 exponential moving average yesterday night. So that was also a big signal as well. Obviously, I wasn't really focusing on this one as much, but it was going to have follow through after the 2-hour dodo time frames. So this is why I was focusing on the lower time frames, because it's going to have follow through into all of the medium and higher time frames. And right now we are seeing a test of the red 10 simple. So I'd say that the next big thing from a medium time frame perspective is if we can close above this red 10 simple, then I would be looking for the next move to take us actually above 12,000 over the next couple days. 12,300 to 12,500 would be the next target. And overall, this is just getting reaccumulated once again. We had a nice little trap last night, as we spoke about, that this price action down around here on the hourly was a clear and obvious trap. Or actually, maybe it's better to see it again on a 2-hour, just because we've been accumulated on this zone so many times. But you do see this slightly lower low right here. This one probably got a lot of people, and this is why and this is why the title of the video last night was "It's a fucking trap." Maybe not "It's a fucking trap," because YouTube doesn't like those kind of words in your titles, but you understand what I mean, right? And when we take out the low very, very briefly like this, but immediately get bought back on up, that is a a clear and obvious signal that the major market movers want to trap some people. Everyone talking about much lower targets down, to 9,000. Some people leaving comments like we're going to 7,000, which, fair enough. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, right? That's why we have markets. But at the end of the day, this is why this is why I really wanted to use this as a risk management tool, and it offered up a damn good trade potential. At the end of the day, so again, I just wanted to kind of follow through and show how these things operate over time. And now, well, I've been getting a lot of messages from people who actually got into this trade. Fucking phenomenally done, man. I'm happy for you, and very easy to manage going on from here. And we have a very natural, again, very very natural area to manage risk upon, right around about 11,100ish area is what I'll call it. So let's go over here to the 4 hour and. 4 hour, we do see nice, actually just a nice structural move. In fact, let's actually talk about this for a second. Bitcoin, okay. Let me make sure that this is right. Okay, there we go. So for this whole move down, this to me looked very corrective the whole way through. This is why I wasn't really ready to get bearish. If we were going to be bearish, I wanted to see an impulsive move down. Instead, this was very orderly. It was a very orderly drop off in price action, which is corrective in nature. So if it's going to be corrective coming off of an uptrend, well, then likely the former trend is going to continue, and then we get this impulsive move right on over here. So very, 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 very volatile, as you can see, and Bitcoin working its way back up, and that's just another just how do I want to relate this concept? Just markets. Market structure is not the right word. I don't think I have the right word right now. But my point is that, hey, it looks to me like we're gearing up for another run. We are right at resistance right now, right around 11,500, 11,600. And you could also use the hourly white 200 simple to kind of judge this one if Bitcoin does break above it, which I think is quite likely. That's going to have carry on over into the daily closing above that red 10 symbol that we looked at earlier. And then I'd be looking for a move into this region here between about 12,200 and 12,400-ish region. We'll call it that. In fact, I'm going to put on our drawing tools right now, and we can see very easily that it's right around here. So I'm going to adjust this blue box territory and put it up here, and that's okay. And there we go. So that's what I'd be looking for if we do break this zone right here. So again, white 200 simple on the hourly dildo time frame. If we break that, likely going to have carry on over into the daily, which is likely going to have carry on over into the next couple days worth of price action into this blue box territory. At which point I would probably say that we do see a little bit of counter trend pressure there. Let's go over and let's go back to the daily for a second, just because I don't feel like I've said everything that I wanted to say on this. We do see, more importantly, that daily oscillators are actually setting up, not setting up, but allowing a reset for an overall bullish posturing. Again, we've seen this so many fucking times, holy shit, man, where Bitcoin gets a very aggressive move to the downside, and then what happens after that? Well, no follow through right on over here. We haven't even broken the yellow 21x benchmark average, which is usually like my governor for that time frame's trend. And to me, this is again just allowing for a bullish reset of this move. Of our momentum oscillators. Stokes right here, getting back down to the neutral zone, and with Bitcoin, perking itself back on up. Very little damage to price action has been done, and again, we're gonna if this thing crosses back up to the upside once again in confluence with breaking the red 10 simple on the daily, I'd say not just are we gonna have like a shorter term target of 12,200, 12,300, but we're likely to get back to our prior highs. And at that point, you have to be thinking beyond, because the higher time frames are starting to set up once again. I mean, this is the beauty of Bitcoin, powerful Bitcoin. 2-day coming all the way down to the yellow 21x benchmark moving average, bouncing off beautifully off that, back above the red 10 simple. I mean, this is good, and this is exactly what we were looking for. We got the bearish divergence right on over here. We came all the way down to the 21, and there you go. There's your fucking buys, alongside major structural support, as we saw in the lower time frames as well from a historical standpoint. So all these things coming into confluence together, and I do feel like we're setting up once again. We do see, however, that 2-day jewel is a little bit tricky here. I would say that this is probably the most bearish thing that I can find on the block, but I don't put too much weight on it right now, just because I'd rather go with price action. And of course, the trend is your friend until the end of the trend. So, assuming that this 2-day, which closes later tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, closes anywhere above about 11,000, I would be looking for continuation of the upside over the next, over the next 4 days and such. 3-day, of course, did close yesterday night as well. 3-day closed decently, wick off the red 10 simple. For whatever reason, my price on the right hand side not showing right now. That's annoying. Jesus Christ, man. Let me maybe if I go on over here. Yep, there we go. That's a magic touch. Go to Finex. Yeah, I don't know why that's been happening. Very, very bizarre. TradingView kind of fucking up recently. Feels like there's always issues. Anyways, 3-day looking looking actually constructive here as well. We do see 3-day Stokes coming down as well. So again, those would be the two most bearish things: 2-day Jewel and then 3-day Stokes. But like I said, I would still be going with the former trend. I do think that the 3-day Jewel is likely to actually get walked up here into the more critical zone. But remember that Bitcoin typically likes to play out about 30 to 40% retracements in in its overall bull market trends. So when it has those pullbacks, anywhere between about 30 to 40% is historically around the area of which it's of which it kind of finds some comfort. Going back on over here, we have this first pullback about 40%. We have this second one right on over here, probably around 32. Yeah, you got that one. Then we have this guy right on over here, another 32% pullback, and then we got this guy right on over here. We got another 30% pullback. You get the idea, right? So, and this is also confluential with the 3-day Jewel, given these signals around this area. But in this more current trajectory, we do see that Bitcoin has pretty much, for all intents and purposes, already played out about a 30% drop down. So again, this is consistent with the way that Bitcoin does play out its major macro trends and the way that it kind of plays out these dips back down. So I would say that I think that we have seen the correction. I would say that it's a little bit more appropriate to wait on the next weekly dodo close, but because the weekly for CMEs greatly influences spot charts, I do think that we'll be able to make that decision on Friday. So if on Friday we close anywhere above, if on Friday we're anywhere above and closing above 11,000, I'd say that that's extremely likely to get continuation. I do consider this probably a test of the red 10 simple, but let's actually put on the 9 exponential, and I'm gonna replace it with the 21. So it's gonna be represented by the yellow moving average. And what do we have here? There it is, the 9 exponential, this yellow moving average right here, walking price up. And this again is something that I like to use when things are trending strong on higher time frames. So daily, weekly, monthly is when I use the 9 EMA. And that's just to just identify that actual trend. Typically on a very strong asset, you're only going to come back down to that area and bounce off that area during trending action. So that's something that my mentor used to use a lot when he was teaching me, but only on the daily, weekly, and monthly. So this one coming down to the weekly 9 and bouncing off there, and that's telling us that Bitcoin is strong as fuck. It's strong as an ox, been taking steroids all goddamn day, and then some. So again, putting back on the yellow 21, we can see that tentacles lining up as well, and this is exactly what you'd expect. There is also a consideration here with the weekly not weekly RSI, but weekly Stokes. They are coming down, so we do see a few warning signals, but the Stokes are not something that I care all that much about when things are trending. Your Stokes are going to naturally be high, and they're going to oscillate in the more bullish control zone, in the critical zone as well. That's actually a good thing. It's actually a good signal. It's telling you that the trend is quite strong. So the 2-day, 3-day, and weekly all doing that is not a death sentence in the way that I think a lot of people are making it out to be. I don't even know if people are really talking about it. It's the RSI that I'm a little bit more concerned with, but weekly RSI is still looking. If we actually make a higher high here, there's going to be no bearish divergence present, and that's going to open up the road for a move much higher actually. So again, I can't help but say, and I can't help but repeat, all higher timeframes for Bitcoin are still bullish. When I'm talking about when I'm talking about higher timeframes, I mean macro timeframes like monthly and quarterly, of which we just closed one a few days ago, as it's still the 3rd day of July. By the way, happy July. Anyways, we do see that Bitcoin, looks to me like it wants to test the outside of the Bollinger Bands once again on the monthly here, and more importantly, the quarterly. I think the quarterly had a damn good close right at the top of the Bollinger Bands. I mean, when you see a setup like this, it's typically something like this right on over here, where Bitcoin's getting ready to push once again. In fact, let's go to the BLX index just so we can get some more color on this. Yeah, you do see, as soon as we start closing near this guy, that's when Bitcoin starts to really gain momentum. Not only that, but we do see quarterly Stokes crossing the upside right here. They were down throughout all of 2018 and into half of 2019. So to me, this is actually quite a bullish setup. And again, when we look at the quarterly here, it does offer up a great perspective for the long-term price action, right? And long-term price action, I'd still be massively bullish on. I'm going to sound like a complete fucking bulltard, but hey, man, I sounded like a complete fucking bear tard during the whole bear market in 2018 as well. It's just running with the overall trend, man. And this is why I adopt these sorts of views, because typically the trend is your friend until the end of the trend. And that just means it's more likely to continue once you start, trending. And you can see over here on the quarterly that we we're actually just beginning right now. I mean, I don't even know if you can consider this already beginning, because we haven't really closed above the top 200 bands just yet. But the second that we do, I mean, this thing is, I'd be saying that 20,000 before end of year is actually not just a possibility, but actually quite probable. I mean, even within the next 3 months is a potential. But I'd say within the next 6 months, before end of year, before 2020, quite likely actually that we do test, around our prior highs of $20,000. This again, I really like this setup, and again, this is why I like to offer up this perspective, just because a lot of people getting, a little bit too dramatic on that last down. I mean, when you look at the monthly right here, just a pullback, man. It's just profit taken by the bulls. So, and again, we rallied off the, off the medium band on the Trollingers right here. This is just a 20 simple. So it's telling you that we're still, comfortable with being bullish. And typically when you do get something like that, you do want to test the upside formally. So I would say that Bitcoin likely gets another chance here. Of course, the monthly Stokes, very, 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 very erect as well. Making their way out of the bearish control zone for the first time in over a year. We do see monthly RSI, little bit of considerations here, just because typically you do see a little bit of counter trend pressure the first time after being the first time getting into the bullish control zone after being away from it for quite some time. But I would say overall still looks healthy to me over the long term. It's the lower time frames where we can see these oscillations. We have massive ranges, but that's okay. That's okay. We're dealing with big numbers, and that's just par for the course on this bitch. And that's why we love Bitcoin. There's so much opportunity. I mean, holy shit. We saw pretty much a $2,000 move from top to bottom in the last 24 hours. We've seen from 9,600, not even 24 hours, less than 24 fucking hours. We've seen a move from about 9,600 all the way to almost 11,600. I mean, that's two. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's so much opportunity in this game. It's absolutely insane. Now, I do think on lower time frames, we probably do come back down and test around 11,150. I don't really see any real need for myself to add, but if I were looking to add, I'd probably be aiming my cannons around there. But I am quite happy with these with this position right here, and I'll probably just end up letting this run. Anyways, with regards to that, let's go check out CME futures and how these guys are doing. Daily on CMEs looking pretty damn good. In fact, the daily on CMEs is significantly stronger. We only came down to the yellow 21 exponential moving average, filled the gap at 10,000, exactly as we spoke about coming into this week, and we're actually well above the red 10 simple once again. I mean, CME futures look like they want to move their way back to 12,500, which is going to obviously influence spot charts, and more importantly, we do see daily Stokes here coming down the whole way. They haven't even crossed back up to the upside, but we have found a local low, and we have gotten continuation on top of that. So a little bit of a lagging indicator right now, but that does offer up the potential for, well, a nice trending move to the upside. Of course, weekly as well, which is going to be closing on Friday at what is it, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I mean, looking good here. Just fill the gap and right back on up. A close on the weekly anywhere above 11,000 is going to look very, very good. So again, it's a little bit of a waiting game for the next move. But I do think that Bitcoin, if I had to pick direction right now, it'd be the same as what I was saying yesterday. Likely to trend more to the upside. We do see all lower time frame oscillators still having plenty of room to the upside to go. This is 4-hour Stokes, and actually 4-hour Stokes are not just working their way past the neutral zone into the bullish control zone, but we're actually breaking this trend line along the way. So I do think that we get this move back into the bullish control zone once again, and see it evolve into some likely above this trend line right here. Again, gonna take a little bit of time, but if you do see this area broken, understand that is going to open up the doors for a move. Really, I mean, really nothing stopping you from 12.4ish region, 12.2 to 12.4. Let's put on the volume profile and see if this agrees. We do see a little bit of activity right here, and for God fucking sake, you can't see the price tickers right now. That'd be right around about 11,800. I think it's kind of irrelevant though, anywhere within this region, likely to just travel back up. I do believe that we just hit the actual resistance right around 11,006. So until pretty much already happened is what I'm trying to say. Let's go back and check out. I do want to do a little bit more deep dive on CMEs here. Going back to the 2-hour. Two hour point of control is right around 11,350, and we are about $200 above spot prices right now. So yes, if we do come back down around there, I would like that from a structural standpoint. And it offers up a very easy way to manage risk, because that's going to line up with spot at around 11,150, right? And that would be, if I was looking to get in position, that's kind of where I'd be looking towards, if I didn't get in prior. And more importantly, with that, like I said, it's not guaranteed to 100% work out. There's no such thing as 100% money back guarantee with the trade. It's only a statistical setup, but the reason why I like this setup is because you wouldn't have to risk all that much money to figure out if you're going to be right or wrong on this one. So the second that we break back down below 11,100-ish region, very likely that we come all the way back down to 10,005. But for now, this looks like a nice impulse or beginning impulse move to the upside after a corrective move to the downside. And all of our low time frame oscillators are trending to the upside. We do got 3-hour Stokes right here, actually accurately calling the low as well. So these ones have been damn good, especially for the bullish crosses and the on the overall side of the macro trend. So during the bear market, the downwards crosses were great signals. Now the upwards crosses have been great signals for the past 6 or so months. And to me, the 3-hour looks like it wants to trend right here. Going into the medium time frames, we do see 6-hour support right around that 11,150-ish region. So I do like that. We do see 6-hour Stokes just freshly crossing the upside. These ones haven't been as good as actually the lower time frames, but we also see the RSI, which has been pretty damn good, getting back above the exponential. And the RSI and exponential have had a great relationship between each other. When we lost it right on over here on the 26th, that was basically the top being called. When we regained it right on over here, this was basically the bottom being called as well. So that is a damn good look on this. We also do see historical volatility percentile very, 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 very much red line. So what does that tell me? It tells me that we're still within the overall context of a greater consolidation, which you would imagine is true coming off of a high like this, coming all the way down around here. It's not until we actually break back above 12,500-ish region where I'd consider Bitcoin, in a breakout mode once again, even though I do think that this does give a test into this region most likely over the next few days. It's that's kind of like the next actionable area from a higher time frame, actual breakout, and then we can start talking about higher targets once again from the overall macro perspective. But for now, still playing within the overall consolidation. We do see that we're basically right at the 382 Fibonacci retracement for this overall, this overall consolidation right here. In fact, I'm going to get rid of this right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the volume profile as well. I'm going to take off all of these. Well, I actually need those on. Let's actually put on a fib retracement just for this move right here, right? So this would actually be a bearish one. So we should see these actually line up with our kind of target areas right now. And we do see, yeah, we're right at the 382. So if this area does get taken out, I would be looking for a move to the 0.5, which is about 12,000. And we do see the 618 coming in right around 12,450. So I do like how these guys line up with each other. That also means that if we get back above the 618, I'd be looking for another breakout move to the prior high and beyond, actually. So 14,000 would be a legitimate target, actually 14,400, and then after that, it's actually there's not really too much in the 15s. It's really 16,000 if anything. Overall, Bitcoin can do some damage here if it does, over the next week if we do get a good closure. Anyways, with regards to that, again, still a little bit of a waiting game here, but a damn good close on the 6 hour. I think just happening about 30 minutes ago. Or let me actually confirm this. I do want to make sure. Fucking bastard, man. Why is it doing this? Yeah, it just happened about 30 minutes ago, so this one's fresh. And this actually looks like, I might be wrong about coming back down to test 11,150. I'd still be using that as an overall pivot on the market, but Jesus Christ, man, the 21 getting a positive slope once again is going to imply that we do give a test here, actually. What about 8 hour? 8 hour structure looking damn good as well. We do see 8 hour Stokes having a fresh cross the upside. Again, this is why I think Bitcoin looks good here, man. 10 hour, we spoke about this in the program chat last night. We got a bullish engulfing dildo close right here, and then continuation. Now this is just hindsight analysis. Now all of the important stuff was in the beginning for a few minutes, but let's go over and check out some new things. Let's go check out GBTC. What's GBTC doing? Decent close yesterday on the daily. This would have also been a good indication, although obviously this happened well after our streaming activities yesterday. But let's go check out the longs and shorts of it all. And longs and shorts still greatly imbalanced, but this is what I kind of wanted to talk about, because a lot of people were trying to put some sort of like a story onto the massive drop in shorts that we saw a few days ago. And realistically, at the end of the day, it's just someone claiming their position. We have no idea what the fuck they're trying to do. If they're claiming their position, then they're trying to get out of a short, obviously. But we don't know their other off exchange positions. It's impossible to really grasp. But 20,000 coins is nothing to balk at, right? That's pretty fucking massive. So when someone's playing with 20,000 coins, it really puts things in perspective that they can move the market, and they probably have a lot more, especially if they settled it, off the books, and that means that they have another 20,000 to just bring onto exchange to settle that with. So fair enough. But again, people trying to put stories on that, that's saying that we're gonna dump based off it or whatever the fuck. Again, these things don't matter. It's a story. It's subjective. We can only focus on tangible price action, and this is why I was really pointing out the 2-hour 377 exponential moving average yesterday. That was the big actionable figure for myself, and well, I mean, now you've kind of seen why. I do want to check out Bitcoin mining stocks right here. This is MGTI finding a low as well. I do like that getting reaccumulated within this region. I do think that we're actually going to give another test to the white 200 simple. So we are seeing miners kind of put in lows. I do think that miners are trying to put in lows right now on the macro. We do see some kind of a variation of a bottoming formation right here. It's overall not that healthy, but I do think that the second that we get a weekly dildo close above what is this, like 8.25 cents, then we're going to see the miners explode as well, probably back up to this region and beyond. Is this going to look like a period of accumulation as we get some bullish divergence coming off the lows, which I do believe plays out. Let's go check out the other top shitcoins. However, let's go check out Mr. Beaterall. How's he doing? Still below $300. So the other altcoins actually not getting as much love, but I would expect for them to, kind of mimic the steps of Bitcoin. We do see yesterday's daily total close bringing us back above the yellow 21. So this one's likely to pop back up and test about 306, maybe 311. But as long as we're below 311, I don't really, I'm not like too excited about this thing, although again, it's going to do whatever Bitcoin does. So if Bitcoin breaks back above, I believe that would line up with maybe like 12,400. Then we're going to likely see Mr. B-roll break back above this region as well and make its way back towards 330ish and likely beyond. Again, most of these things move together. What about and of course, our structural support right here, right around the right alongside the yellow 21, which is about 291. So overall fine. We got it actually even generously gave you a couple chances to buy this 275 pivot as well. What about Mrs. Litecoin? How's she doing? Doesn't look as good actually. Again, right at resistance. I do think that this one just grabs strength of the overall market, and this is what we were saying last night. Last night, Mrs. Litecoin did not look good, but because Bitcoin made its own move, Litecoin gets salvaged a little bit, and again, they're going to move together. So I'll be looking for Mrs. Litecoin to pop back up to maybe 126, 127ish region, and if Bitcoin pops up more here, then you're probably going to see it break that region and work its way back towards 135. Again, these things, it's just easier to watch Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's going to do it, then likely the altcoins follow. Let's go check out. I do want to check out traditional markets really quick and speak about them at a little bit length here. So going over here to the daily, we do see, I've been bullish on traditional markets for a while, and I'd still be bullish on them. I do think that they have more to go. We do see higher time frames are trending to the upside. I'm sure a lot of people look at this and intuitively think, oh my God, we have the hangman dildo. This thing's going to the goddamn ground. Well, that's typically what people want to say, always. But in reality, this thing just came back down, filled the gap from the prior monthly, and then back onwards and upwards. I like this, man. I think it's a damn good chart, and I think this is exactly what you can expect on a breakout move. It doesn't give you a second chance to actually buy the breakout area. It gets a little bit close, but as soon as we get right around that region, it just it gets picked up once again. So to me, I'd be bullish on traditional markets. And why is that important? Well, we can actually look at a correlation between Bitcoin and traditional markets, and I would say that they are quite correlated. But before you take that at face value, let's look at this together, and I'll bring up the correlation coefficient, which, let's do it this way. Looks like I didn't get enough sleep last night. Anyways, where's Bollyport? There he is, my beautiful brother. And come on, add it on. There it is. So Bollyport made this lovely indicator for us. It's correlation coefficient represented by this purple histograph here. And we can see that traditional markets are quite correlated with Bitcoin. So this is, again, just measuring the mathematical correlation between the asset that we're looking at right now, which is SPY's SPX, which is essentially the big indice for U.S. markets, kind of leads the world as well. And we do see that they have a positive correlation. So this thing being bullish and breaking out here, I do think bodes well for Bitcoin as well. And in fact, just looking at the chart here, you do see that these things have a lot more in common than they do not. In fact, if we go all the way back for the past few years, you can see that this is certainly at a much more positive correlation, except for just a few times really. And overall, the general trend of both has been quite consistent. So a healthy U.S. market does I would say is good for Bitcoin as well. And I would be bullish on traditional markets right now. So Bitcoin, benefiting from that as well. Anyways, taking this guy off, and getting back to it. I don't really have any targets for SPYs, but I am just generally looking for some more upside here. Fresh though across the upside, defending the bullish control zone, tells me that we want to spend some time in this region. Same thing with monthly. Monthly actually working its way back up, and monthly just looks like a full-on breakout here. Looks completely fine to me, very, very constructive, and I think that we get continuation over the next couple months to the upside. Anyways, go check out the other top shit, or actually, let's go check out gold for a second. Gold, again, looking at the monthly, damn good chart. I do think that the breakout is real here as well, and I would still be holding on to my measure move around 515, 513ish region. In fact, on the lower time frames, we already got that move back down exactly to our area, right around 1384. I said 1380 was the area to kind of reaccumulate at, and got picked up a little bit above there, about 1384, but all is well and good. And to me, this one looks like it wants to trend back to the upside as well. Looking at weekly, very, very powerful. It reminds me of Bitcoin. These things have been moving together as well, and I would say that this one has more. I'll still be sticking with that target, which would imply new highs. And if that implies new highs and Bitcoin and gold are correlated in this breakout, then that would imply that Bitcoin breaks the current high of about 14,000 and works its way up towards its next major level at probably about 16,000, I'd imagine. Yeah, about 16,000 is where I'd kind of be thinking over time. This isn't happening like today or tomorrow, but over time, of course. Going back on over here and checking out the other top shitcoins. We already looked at Buteral and Litecoin. Let's go check out Link. How's Link doing? Link still higher time frames, looking a little bit not as good here. Did we hit the 40,000 Satoshi target? We did. Hey, there we go. Just a few Satoshis shy of it, but that's okay. Again, I said did I say 41,000? Yeah, 41,000 Satoshis. We got up to about 40,000 Satoshis. Pretty damn good. Does look to me like we are maybe putting a top here. Let me see. Did we take out yesterday's low? Yes, we did. I do think that Link probably comes back down here and tests 30,000 Satoshis, and then we'll reassess from there. But it does look a little bit toppy here. Weekly's a little bit in trouble as well. If we do close a weekly like this, I'd say that we're going to be looking at a pullback, probably back down to 25,000 Satoshis after all the targets were met. So again, I do overall like Link, but it is looking a little bit more like it wants to come back down. I'd still be bullish on it more long term, but this thing's been trending to the upside for the past like year and a half. Probably going to take a little bit of time, right? Let's go check out Mr. Cardano, and I don't want to pick on Mr. Cardano too hard because people really don't like that apparently. But understand that whenever I talk about Cardano here versus Bitcoin, I basically use as a corollary to talk about just about most of the altcoins. Most of the altcoins look in some variation of this chart, right? Where they just popped, they had one major massive rally, getting all the bag holders and all the true believers in, and then dump it on their face, baby. Sorry, but distribution all over your bullish bungholes, and down we go for the next fucking year. Very, very nasty here, and continuation is the name of the game here. And again, this is what we were looking at yesterday. A lot of people trying to call alts on trying to call bottoms on alts, but remember, the Bitcoin dominance chart is bullish as fuck. We only came back down and tested the support the other day, perfectly testing this right here, the same area that we've been speaking about for quite some time, and then perfect lift off that area. Again, this is long-term bullish here. I think that there's more pain for alts to come. Alt season is postponed for a long time, I'd imagine, as most of these alts are going to be making new lows quite soon if they aren't already. Looking at weekly, bullish. Looking at monthly, I'd say I'm probably even more bullish on the monthly right here. I'm turning to fucking straight up bull chart. This is so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. And I really feel bad for all the people who are just joining this community because last year I was bear tart essentially. It's better to be a bear in a bear market, of course. But this is the beauty of when you have strong trending markets. Just run with the trend. That's all you really need to do. And for the geniuses who are trying to be smart with alts and buy the next 100x shitcoin, good luck with that. Good fucking luck with that, because this chart is bullish as fuck right here, and want some more. I'd say I wouldn't be surprised if this thing reaches up towards almost 70% in the coming months, which would suggest that alts don't benefit versus Bitcoin. Of course, though, it goes without saying, if Bitcoin does go up, you're likely to see alts go up in US dollar valuation. So let's go back to Cardano. Again, the Satoshi chart here, awful, fucking awful. Just lower lows and lower highs for the eternity of eternity. Fucking god awful. But let's go look at it versus US dollar, right? And let's go to Binance, I suppose. And how does it look versus US dollar? Looks to me like it actually is kind of building a case right here. It's consolidating. We have a nice what do you want to call it? Ascending triangle, I'd imagine. And I would say that we do have a measure move pointing up towards about almost 13 cents, which I do think that it hits over time. We just actually hit support right here. So a nice trade potential actually in the making, and very easy to manage risk below about 7.5 cent region. And you're right on support right now. So I actually do like this as a trade potential. And I do think that it does work its way up towards this next target over time, as this does look like a bottoming formation on the US dollar formation or on the US dollar pairing, but versus Satoshis, bad. And remember, when you're in an overall bull market, you do want to be measuring things versus Satoshis, just because it's going to tell you, would you have made more money by just simply holding Bitcoin or holding this, great, highly esteemed altcoin. And in this one, you can see that the Bitcoin pairing getting absolutely cream pied all the way through. Just again, lower highs and lower lows, rejections at every major moving average. Pretty fucking nasty. Let's go check out BNB. How's BNB doing? And again, we're going to look at this one on US dollar valuation. I do think that it works its way back up and test $34. Going to catch wind of the overall market strength. But this trend line right over here that we broke to the downside a few days ago, I would be looking for a retest of this trend line. And if it breaks this trend line to the upside, which is going to be coming in at about $34.50 and rising over time, then I'd be looking for a retest of the prior highs. Zcash kind of similar to Bitcoin. I do think that it works its way back up towards 109.5, 110 region. If we can actually get a close above 110, then I'd be bullish for another move towards 138 target. I would switch to bearish, or at least I would be looking for some downside if we close below 102 area, or if we even just go back to 102 really. Bcash, nice little move there as well, and kind of the same thing as Cardano, making a nice ascending triangle here, right on support as well. So a decent trade potential in the making. Do you think that the short-term target is going to be about 433, and medium term probably back up to the top of this resistance right here. If we can actually break this resistance, then I'd be looking for a move towards about $600 even. Tron Cash, what's Tron Cash doing? Holding on for dear life as well, but he's doing it. Powerful Tron, and I do a short-term target probably like 3.4 cent. Long-term, I think that's just gonna. I think that we need to give it a little more time, but overall, probably fine. Gonna follow the rest of the market. If Bitcoin switches up here, you're gonna see Tron Cash follow as well. Major structural resistance right around here, right around 339. If 39 can be taken out to the upside, then yes, I'd be looking for a move for the next move to 5 cents. But for now, a little bit of a laggard as well. Neocash, what's Neocash doing? Good move on Neocash, actually, very, very good. So this one a little bit more of on the strong side, I would say. Golden cross right on over here. We spoke about this yesterday, actually, with the green and the purple, and above all major moving averages. I have to be bullish on this one. I do think that it probably works its way back towards $19.50, and I mean at that point it's probably going to test $21. Again, if it can break above $21, then we can talk about a target towards $24.50. But for right now, a little bit premature to be talking about that, and I'll just kind of raise it down here a little bit, or lower it here is a better word. What about EOS? What's EOS doing? Same thing as a lot of the other ones, a little bit certainly on the side of the laggards, but a decent trade potential here. Nice easy way to manage risk right below 572, and I do think that this one works its way back up towards like 635ish region, and probably beyond, but a laggard nonetheless. What about Ripple Me Nipples? Still holding on to the bottom support. Beautiful Ripple. Again, it's been holding this trend line like a champ for about a month now. Sorry, a couple months since May. So we had May, June, and now we're in July. Yeah, so a couple months. I do think that it works its way back up towards 42.5 cents and probably beyond as well. I wouldn't get bearish on it. Bearish isn't the right word. I wouldn't be looking for a significant downside on it until it actually breaks 39.5 cents, which we have failed to do thus far. And we are going to see momentum oscillators start to switch around once again. So the mommy oscillators saying chicken tendy time is potentially in the making over the next few days. As long as this trend lines hold, we will actually see that switch around, and then I'd be saying, short-term target 42.5 cents, medium-term target about 45, and then we'll reassess from there. Monero, what's Monero doing? Monero, good move off the lows. A little bit more of a sloppy chart. I want to rechart this just because there's so many wicks here. It's very difficult to actually get right. But something like this, what we're looking at, essentially, this is kind of what we're looking at right here. We have a nice trading zone, so I do think that short-term target is going to be about $98. And so if we can break back above there, then it's gonna be reliant on Bitcoin, of course, but probably pops back up to 118 if that were to happen. Stellar, what's Stellar doing? Stellar really not having In fact, Stellar is probably the biggest laggard out of the top market cap coins, but still bouncing off the white 200 simple on the weekly. I dislike being bearish in this region. It's one of my rules. I'm just not ever. I never short into a major support like that, and it goes without saying though that daily's pretty fucking ugly. I mean, it's all time frames look bad. But again, certainly a laggard within the market. I don't quite understand why this one is not following the rest. It seems like all the other ones are pretty much, some sort of corollary between each other. They're pretty damn similar, right? But Stellar not so much. Stellar actually making new lows on that last run and sticking to them. So I would kind of. I don't really like the way I don't like the way that this one's acting. I would not be bullish on it at all until it really proves itself back above about 12 cents. So it's got a lot of work to do. But you can imagine that if Bitcoin really does start to turn on the engines here, you're probably going to see that happen as well. And, just for shits and giggles, we can look at the Satoshi pairing, which is complete free fall for the last really like year and a half. But again, this is why you want to be paying attention to the Satoshi pairing and also the dollar pairing. The dollar pairing for a lot of these things can look good, but the Satoshi pairing looking absolutely terrible. I mean, we can go over here to Mrs. Litecoin and check out this one as well. Satoshi pairing bad. Yes, it's probably going to bounce off the white 200 simple once again, but Jesus Christ, man, that is not looking so healthy. And we can do the same thing with Mr. Beaterall as well. I mean, they're all about the same. Still holding on to lows, and looks like it wants to actually probably drive and break the support trend line right here. If it breaks the support trend line, I'd be looking for a move all the way down here towards the 886 at 0.226 region. Bad, really bad. So again, that would align with the bullish Bitcoin, of course. And the dollar pairings for these assets will likely be good as well. But the Satoshi pairing, not the place to be. So if you are trading these things on margin on somewhere like BitMEX, where you can only trade them versus Bitcoin, understand that is, it's like you can be right, but you're gonna be wrong where it matters, right? So again, I just wanted to point that out because I see a lot of people getting frustrated with this. And at the end of the day, man, when Bitcoin's trending, all eyes are on the king, and it's not until the king blows off his top and goes into some actual sideways action where I'd be saying that alts are gonna really put in some lows and start to rally and have those nice significant gains that I think a lot of people are addicted to from end of 2017. For now though, still Bitcoin takes the lead, right? Bitcoin's still taking the lead. Anyways, I'm gonna start to wrap up this bitch right here just because, actually before I go, let's look at the expected moves chart. This is, again, expected moves with regards to historical volatility. And you can see that actually perfectly yesterday, we wicked all the way down to the second standard deviation. So again, that's less than 5% chance. So that was a damn good buy down around there. Also alongside our structural support of the 377 exponential on the 2 hour and also the 4 hour 200 as well. So those should naturally line up. And more importantly, with regards to that, we have seen those hold up. And this also did line up with the expected moves chart. So that was a damn good buy. That's why I was buying yesterday. And now today, we're actually playing between the first standard deviations, which support going to be right around that 11. What is it? Yeah, about 10,900 to the downside, and resistance right around 12,000 even, which is essentially what I'd agree with. Let's actually let's lower the length to a 15 and see how this changes things. That actually really puts the top of the range much higher towards 12,200, 12,300, which would align with our next major resistance. So I do believe that this one's actually getting things better here, the 15 period. Anyways, let's go back to spot charts and should I do this on a 2 hour? Yeah, we can do this on a 2 hour. Okay, so Bitcoin overall looking good. I do think that we're seeing a nice, healthy, strong move here after a pretty routine correction, actually. As crazy as that sounds, this is just kind of par for the course on Bitcoin, historically speaking. And I do think that, we probably do break this trend line over time at 11,500. And at that point, I'd be looking for a move short term to about 11.8, but really probably test around here at around 12,002 to 12,004 in correlation with what we just saw in the expected moves chart. More importantly, all medium timeframes and higher timeframes look like they're actually switching around. So I would retain a bullish bias. Especially with what we saw yesterday after we broke above this blue box territory. That was, that was really it for me. And I'll be holding on to my position as long as we're above that 11,100-ish pivot. I will de-risk below there, but for right now, I think everything looks all fine and well. Probably going to take a little bit of time here. I do think that Bitcoin probably does test back down around 11,001, 11,002 region, but I'd be looking for it to get picked up there. So Again, to the upside, you could also use the hourly white 200 simple here. If we do break this area, yeah, I'll probably be looking somewhere right around here. Anyways, that's going to do it for this morning's video. I'll be back on later with some more live stream analysis. Going to be the last live stream from Helsinki, Finland before I move to Chicago tomorrow. Oh, and that reminds me, holy shit, I can't believe I keep on forgetting to talk about this. Because it's going to be 4th of July tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Yeah, it's tomorrow. Hey, happy Freedom Day. I do want to have, and I've been asked about this a lot, but I do want to have a sale for all my programs, 20% off with the code FREEDOM20 in all capitals. Freedom, let me actually write this out just in case, you never know. Let's see, something like this is what I'm saying. FREEDOM20, and that's 20% off of on all the programs, on all the payment plans. But I always want to say this. Please, 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 please make the right decision for yourself with these programs. Do not invest in these programs if you are not sure. If you're not sure, I don't want to be that person yelling in your ear like, if you're not sure, you don't know what the fuck you want to do and you should get the fuck out. No, that's wrong. That's a wrong thing to do. I don't want to put pressure on anyone. I want you to make the right decision for yourself, but just understand that these programs are designed for people who want to do this in a much more serious manner, typically as a profession, as a living. Doesn't mean that everyone who takes it is going to be doing that. Of course, I'm not here to be your dad or judge, who can take it and who can't take it, but these programs are long as fuck. They are 35 hours plus for both the technical analysis program and the options program. The Joule indicators, a little bit more instant gratification. It's only it's only got a few videos in it. It just access really to indicators. It's the technical analysis program that's 35 hours long, and the options program. They also do come with their own indicators, but the focus is on more all-encompassing trading activities. So the technical analysis program obviously focuses on technical analysis plus risk management plus position management plus market dynamics plus a ton of bonus modules and then its own indicators. And then the options program is literally just focused on options. I would suggest though not jumping into that one. It is very difficult and it's a massive rabbit hole. If you're not already comfortable with just general technical analysis, like very basic technical analysis, I would not take that. I'd focus on the technical analysis program. But of course, it goes without saying that unless you're fully committed, it's better to just go off of all my free content. You don't need to buy these. They're a massive, not just time investment, but also monetary investment. So for most people, it's not going to be reasonable. It's overkill. You don't need to do it. You're probably going to be fine just going off of my free content. I do have a technical analysis 101 playlist and also introduction to options playlist as well. So I'd imagine start there if you're confused, or sorry, if you're not sure. And then if you really do want more, then maybe consider it. Always feel free to reach out to me. If you have questions about it, I'm happy to answer your questions. In fact, I think it's a really good thing to do just because I want to make sure that it's a good fit more than anything. And with that, I'll let you be the judge for yourself. Definitely read the reviews. Make sure that it's for you. And of course, with all of that said, I do want to wish you well on this, what is it, Tuesday? No, Wednesday. Hey, happy Wednesday. I'll be back on later with some more live stream analysis. See you there and take care.